What's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. Now, 2020 has been quite the unique year, and I know that's really downplaying it, but one of the themes that I've seen this year is people interacting and using technology in different and new ways. And obviously, I'm no exception. I've been using tech all year, and I thought it'd be cool today to go through a lot of the products that I really enjoyed using over 2020. These aren't all products that released in 2020. In fact, most of these were not released this year, but they're all products that I really enjoyed using over the course of the year that I think that others might also really enjoy. So let's just jump into some of my favorite things that I used in 2020. This first product is something that I use every single day if I'm at home, which this year is a lot. And it's the first thing that I'm going to use every morning because that is the Ember coffee mug. The main feature of the Ember mug is the ability to keep your drink at the exact temperature you want for an extended period of time. I personally love it for keeping my Americano that I make each morning at a perfect 143 degrees Fahrenheit. With the Ember app, you can set different presets for different drinks at different temperatures, but since I only ever drink coffee out of it, I never really have to use the app because my settings are already good to go. The internal battery and coil will keep your drink hot for about an hour. However, the included coaster will keep your drink hot and the battery charged for as long as you want. So if you have a spot you habitually drink your coffee somewhere like a desk or a couch, you can set it on the coaster and have a hot coffee as long as you like. It's so nice because how many times have you made a cup of coffee only to get distracted and come back an hour later to a cold coffee? Then you either heat it up in the microwave, ew, have cold coffee, also ew, or make another cup of coffee and pour out your old one. Wasteful. And on the surface, this mug to me is the perfect tech product because technology is supposed to enhance our lives with new ideas. And it does exactly that. It has one function that it does really well, but there are some downsides. The first one being its size. It's just a little bit too small. At 10 ounces, it's just a little bit less than what I'm hoping for from a cup of coffee, so I usually end up making 2 cups of coffee in the morning, which all in all is not a very big deal, but I do wish it was larger. But since I've owned this mug, Ember has released a more expensive, bigger version of this mug at 14 ounces. Now that brings me to my other problem. Price. The base mug and coaster set is $100. There's no real way to cut it. That's an expensive mug. But I think it's really worth it. I love it so much, it does exactly what I need. And the larger mug is another $30 jump at $130. But there's nothing quite like it on the market, and I think it really nails what it's trying to do. If you are a big coffee or tea drinker, I think this is a perfect product for you. But before I move on to the next product, I do want to plug my favorite coffee brand, Black Coffee Roasting Company, straight out of Missoula, Montana. I would truly recommend giving their AM blend or the Red Room blend a try. They have free shipping all across the United States, so it's no more expensive than buying a really good bag of coffee in your hometown. And this is not a sponsor, I just really like their coffee and I really want to give them a plug because it's good to support local businesses. Link to their website will be in the description. Next up, if you've been tuned into anything Apple or anything computers this year, you will know that Apple has finally released their first set of M1 Macs. These sport Apple's proprietary silicon, the new M1 chip. I can pretty safely say that these Macs have blown away everyone's expectations, including mine. I have been using the new M1 Mac Mini for a couple of weeks now, and it is such a fun computer. While I haven't used it enough for a full review yet, the amount of performance that they've packed into this tiny frame is truly impressive, and the ability to use iPad and iPhone apps is really great too. While a lot of them don't work super well for these Macs yet, I feel like they're going to get better in the future, and when they do work well, it's really nice. Not only did Apple pack a ton of performance into this really tiny frame, but they did it at an exceptionally good price too. The Mac Mini starts at $699. Now, I think that might be the best deal in computing right now. I've had a really fun time with this computer so far, and I can't wait to dial it up and really see what it's capable of. I feel like this next one's gonna be a surprise to no one, but I really love my AirPods Pro. They are my go-to audio device for phone calls, Zoom meetings, podcasts, etc., etc. They come with me wherever I go. They almost feel like a piece of my tech utility belt. You probably know all about AirPods Pro by now. You've probably watched tons of videos, but they did get one new feature this year through a software update that I was very skeptical about at first, but turned out to be my favorite thing about the AirPods, which is automatic device switching. Unlike a lot of other Bluetooth headphones, AirPods Pro do not have multiple device support, so you can't be connected to two things simultaneously. However, if you use multiple Apple devices running iOS 14 or macOS Big Sur, AirPods Pro will auto-detect which device you're using and play audio from that device. I definitely thought at first that this feature was going to end up being a giant mess and things were going to be switching over each other all the time. But in my experience, this is a really, really nice feature. It seems to always know exactly what I'm doing. Typically, how it works is it needs an input from that device for it to recognize that you're using it, whether that's the gyroscope from your iPhone or your iPad, or a mouse click or keyboard use from your Mac. And with the introduction of macOS Big Sur, adding Macs into the mix makes this all the much more functional. So if I'm at my desk working, I can seamlessly switch between any device that I need to use. The active noise cancellation of the AirPods Pro is really fantastic, and I much prefer the rubber tips over the plastic pieces in the original AirPods. AirPods Pro retail for $250, but I see them typically being sold for the $200 to $210 price range right now. I've even seen them go all the way down to $160 at one point in time, matching them with the price of the original AirPods when they first were released. These are pretty much the gold standard of wireless earbuds, and you can't really go wrong with them. I'm going to start off the next product with its worst feature, the name. These are the Sony WH-1000XM4s. Sony's audio department is so bad at naming things, but their products are so good. Sony WH-1000XM4. Gotta work on that. Anyways, these headphones absolutely rip. They sound awesome and they're lightweight, which bodes well for travel whenever we get to do that again. They have an awesome 20-hour battery life and hold their charge really well when they're on standby, and they charge over USB-C. They have multiple device Bluetooth connection and really killer noise cancellation. If you want a really great pair of headphones, I cannot recommend these enough. They retail for $350, but their average price on sale is around $275. Now, let's step away from audio products and get into my new everyday bag. This is the Brevity Jumper. Really reasonably priced for what you're getting, a sleek, minimal, well-designed camera bag. Not only does this bag have plenty of room for gear as well as other items, it's got some cool little pockets and features that I really like. As we look into the main camera compartment, you can see I can carry 2 full-size bodies and a couple of extra lenses, which is plenty for day-to-day work. And if we look to the side of the bag, you can see this quick access pocket that lets me get right to my camera so I can be shooting without having to dive through any of the other gear. Lastly, we have the main compartment with a little pouch for extra chargers, wallet, etc. And then the main pouch has a good amount of room for any other stuff. This bag comes in a ton of different colors, but I obviously chose white, which I thought that I could keep clean for some reason. But even with a bit of scuffing, I still think it looks fantastic. One of my favorite things about this bag is it doesn't look like a traditional camera bag, so people won't be as prone to stealing my gear when I'm out shooting. This guy is going to run you an easy $100. I don't know what took me so long to finally get a drone, but this year was the year, and I got the Mavic Air 2. And I absolutely love it. This thing is so fun and I keep coming back to it, mainly because of the ease of use, quickness of setup, and the great shots that I can get with it. While it doesn't quite have the image quality of the Mavic 2 Pro, it still packs a great sensor with a good image that will be more than good enough for most situations. However, it is half the price of the Mavic 2 Pro, so that does drive a pretty hard bargain. It's so small and portable that I can easily fit it in my bag with 2 more batteries, its controller, another camera, and 2 extra lenses, making my day pack rounded out and great for whatever I'm trying to do. With how small of a package this drone is, I can easily slip it through gaps that I would be really worried about trying to shoot if I'm using a bigger drone, even like the Mavic 2 Pro. One of the downsides of this drone is it lacks manual aperture control, meaning that if I'm shooting in broad daylight, I need to make sure I put the right ND on before I throw it up. Sometimes I'll put the drone up and realize I'm so off my exposure that I need to bring it back down, switch the ND before I can start shooting. Now, it's not the biggest deal, but it does take time, and that can be annoying when you're trying to grab the shot you need. Also, the image gets soft and mushy really fast if you crank the ISO. I really try to avoid having the ISO over 400 and really try not to go to 400 if I need to. So what this means is you have to have a little more forethought to what you're shooting before you go and shoot it. If you are wanting to get the best image quality you can out of an ultra portable drone, I would recommend getting the Mavic 2 Pro. But if you or someone you know is trying to get into drone photography and videography and they're looking for their first drone, I would say this is a great pickup. At $800 for the base model and $1,000 for like the Fly More package, this is a great way to start into drones. I think this next product falls into the surprise no one category, but I really love my Nintendo Switch Lite. I don't know if there's anything I can say that hasn't been said about this thing already, but it comes at a super nice price point to jump into Nintendo's games and systems. If you like Nintendo's IPs or gaming on the go, I really can't recommend this enough. This guy will run you $200. Sometimes you'll also be able to find it with a game bundle. Now, I was going to do a runner-up list, but this next product, in the time that I started making this video to the time I ended making this video, changed enough to where I have to include it on this list. And I think this is a little one of my hotter takes, but I'm including Google Stadia on my list of some of my favorite things this year. As you're all totally aware, Stadia has had its whole host of issues over its first year. Those things including input lag, lack of a game library, connection issues, blah, 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 you name it, they've done it, they've been there. But I find myself in this niche of people who don't have a ton of gaming peripherals. I also really enjoy gaming now and then, so Stadia was something that I watched really closely during its development, thinking that this could be a great middle ground for me. Through a YouTube premium promotion over the last couple of months, I got sent a Stadia Premier Edition with this controller and a Chromecast, and I've been playing with Stadia now and then for the last couple of months. Just trying out games that I probably wouldn't play if I wasn't using Stadia. This whole time I've thought the service was pretty good. I love the idea. The execution has been very okay. But in the last couple of days, Stadia opened up an iOS beta. So now you can play Stadia games on any iOS device. And I think this is huge for the platform. The requirements for what you need to play AAA titles such as Cyberpunk 2077 is now ridiculously low. I've been playing Cyberpunk on my iPad for the last couple of days and it has worked flawlessly. And if you've been following that game at all, you know that it's had a lot of struggles with some of the older console hardware. So being able to run that game on my iPad and having it do it without a sweat is really, really impressive. And honestly, props to Stadia for being able to make that happen. If this is the general trend for the way Stadia is going, we might actually see a bit of a turnaround in the service. Now, I'm hopeful and skeptical, but at the moment, I've been really having fun with this, and I have to give it props where it's due. So this last product isn't really a single product, it's more of a category of products. And I just wanted to recommend to anyone that likes to shoot photos and wants a new way to feel photography and to take new fun photos is to think about picking up a film camera. I just love shooting film as a way to make really fun memories. Something like this point and shoot takes a lot of the complexity out of shooting film, but you can still enjoy a lot of the benefits that film shooting has. You can see this guy is pretty tiny. I bring this most places that I go, so if I want to snap a quick photo, it's easy and available. It just provides another medium that's outside of just shooting a photo on my phone if I don't have a larger camera with me. And just to show how tiny this guy is, here is my iPhone 12 Pro Max beside it. You can see that it takes up like a much larger footprint. Obviously it's a bit thicker, but like that's pretty small and it packs a punch. You can easily find point and shoots online for $50 to $100. Make sure that you do some research so you know what you're getting and you don't buy it from somewhere where it's gonna be broken or unusable. I just think shooting film is so much fun. And if you've noticed any of the photography trends over the last couple of years, you'll see that a lot of other people are discovering the same thing. And that's all I have for you guys. Those are the products that I really enjoyed using in 2020. If you are interested in any of these products, links are down below. Maybe one of these things could be a good gift for someone you know. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like. Thank you for watching. I have a lot more content coming soon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.